Hello and welcome to Cutting to the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben. As always, I'm hanging out with Mike.
Hello.
Claire.
Hey.
And Pete. Hello. Welcome back.
I couldn't think of an accent, so I just thought I'd do a weird voice.
Sounds like a Cookie Monster a
I was
bit.
going to say,
Hello.
like a Muppet.
Yeah. I don't want to say nothing.
Fucking you muppets.
This week we will talk about the alleged 1933 UFO crash in Italy. 1933, predating Roswell.
I was going to say, I don't think I knew about this one.
It's only really come out recently with David Grush has spoke about it.
People are starting to believe.
They are. Has anyone been watching the Congress hearings or listening to them?
Yeah.
I've listened to it a bit, I must admit, at work, or I've been alone.
It's only verifying what we already knew.
What, you mean that we have got the tech of the bodies?
No. What we
I knew
knew,
that.
what we knew about what Grush was saying.
Yeah, it has been pretty much confirming what Grush has already said in previous weeks.
Interviews, yeah.
But still,
It's
big
on
if
record
true.
now. It's on record now, under oath.
Yeah?
That's the important thing. Anyone
Yeah.
can do an interview to a television company. There's no repercussions. If he's lying to Congress, there will be repercussions, won't there?
Yeah, but it's not so much lying to Congress, it's lying over on the Bible. That's what under oath means. It's you're taking the oath under the Bible and things like that. So
You lied to God.
if you don't give a fuck about God, well, you can fucking say what you want.
It doesn't have to be the Bible, does it? It can be any...
It doesn't matter though, you can still say what you fucking want. You're taking an oath. It's not like a truth
No, it's
serum,
illegal.
is it?
It's illegal to lie to Congress.
It's illegal to lie to any law, isn't it, really?
Well, there you go.
I think he was a California congressman that did his oath over his replica Captain America shield. He said that meant more to him than the Bible about representing the American way. Something like that, anyway. Anyway, thanks for returning listeners, and then we'll get right to it.
Right to the meat and potato of it.
Exactly. Now we should start with Edinburgh in the UK, Obninsk in the Russian Federation, we're still in Russia, Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, Mount Orab in Ohio, Yonkers in New York. I always read that one when I see it. 'Cause
Yonkers. Oh,
it's the Battle of Yonkers in the book, was Ed.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Much better than the film.
Oh,
You ever had a
it's-
chance to read the book? It's fantastic.
Hell, yeah.
Frankfurt am Main in Germany, Flushing in New York, St. Petersburg in the Russian Federation. Fuck me, we are big in Russia this week.
Yeah.
We're not banned in Russia. Bengaluru in India, Brussels, Belgium. It's somewhere in Ukraine.
Ho, Rod.
Bohodchny. I've massacred that. I do apologise.
Bohorodchny.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Porterville in Missouri, Ashburn, Virginia, Dublin, Ireland, and Boardman, Oregon top.
Thank you very much, listeners.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Follow us on Facebook at Cutting to the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. YouTube, Apocalypse Bull. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. And SoundCloud and most other podcasting platforms. Cutting to the Bull in the PTA.
Don't forget to tell your friends.
Tell a friend, tell a lover, tell your wank sock. As long as it's got an account and it can listen, I don't mind.
Push that subscribe button.
Oh, I hate it when people say that.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
It's lame.
But obviously you have to say it. Otherwise people don't.
Set your alerts, give you notifications.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough saying shameless pandering to our listeners. Right, so the Italian UFO crash confirmed by Grush and Elizondo, as the Elizondo was a guy who came out, Louis Elizondo was a guy who came out with the Tic Tac stuff. Do you remember? He was a
Yeah.
whistleblower then. Apparently had 2 giant alien bodies.
Big foreheads, didn't they?
Yes. According to Roberto Pinotti, an Italian journalist, writer and UFO researcher, the alleged UFO crash occurred in Magenta, Lombardy, Italy on April the 11th, 1933, 14 years prior to the famous Roswell UFO incident in New Mexico. The crash involved a flying saucer-like object and triggered an investigation by a secretive wartime intelligence unit known as the Gambinetto RS-33, or RS-33 Cabinet. Oh, that's a bit majestic 12, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
The Cabinet.
33.
Masonic.
Freemasons, yeah.
Yeah, Freemasons.
Interesting they chose that number, isn't it?
Yeah. That cabinet, the Gabinetto RS-33, was authorised by Italian dictator Benito Mussolini to study
nice
the phenomenon.
Nice guy he was, apparently.
Was he?
Yeah.
Nice guy for a
Really
fascist.
sound he was, I heard.
You know what? Got the trains to run on time. It's the one credit I'll give him. It's the only credit I'll give him.
Genius.
Because he was a... Oh.
We should see if we can hire him for us for a little bit.
Well, they have a job while he was strung upside down in an Italian petrol station.
What? Why?
After being hung.
Why? Why would they do that to such a nice man? I am joking, obviously.
Yes.
Fucking dick. Yeah.
You mean say you didn't luncheon with the Mussolinis and the Goerings?
Well, you know when I go back in time.
Yeah.
I don't see you go and have feasts with Nazi leaders.
I'm just going to go take him out.
Oh, Christ. That means that when you've gone back to ancient Egypt, you've secretly gone back killing Jews for them.
I didn't say I was going to do that. I had to think a moment, though.
Pinotti revealed in his book UFO Contacts in Italy, Volume 2, Electric Boogaloo, that the crashed UFO was stored in the hangars of SIAI Marchetti in... Oh, God. How do I give you that Italian name? Vigianti?
Vigianti?
No.
Vigiti?
Verjat.
Vijat?
That's it. Oh.
Alright, well, okay. While Mussolini believed in the unconventional flying vehicle to be a secret weapon of France, Britain or Germany.
I don't know whether that's how it's said, by the way. I just thought it sounded
You
good.
styled it out?
Yeah, man.
Signor Guglielmo Marconi, a head of the Italian Royal Academy of Sciences, purportedly considered to be of extraterrestrial origin. So Mussolini's like, because he's a dumbass, he's like, no, it's got to be a secret weapon from one of the other European countries.
Maybe that's what they were all told.
Well, it's probably what they thought it was initially, isn't it? And they've gone and recovered it and gone like, oh my gosh, what is this?
Just like that, yeah. And
Go get the pizza and pasta, let's have a party.
yeah, and clearly they sent it to the head of the Royal Academy of Sciences in Italy, and he said, no, it's extraterrestrial.
It's an extraterrestrial.
Oh God, please cut with the Pinocchio fucking creator's accent.
I am joking, I don't mean to offend anybody. Apart from the Italians.
Well, at this point in time, mate,
You did very well.
It's all right, we don't have any Italian listeners hardly ever, so don't worry about it.
I just want to talk about how shit the Italians were under Mussolini briefly. Invaded a country who had nothing but spears and lost. Abyssinia.
Had to gas them.
Had to gas them in the end to win.
They've been a bit of a joke, haven't they, for a few years?
Declared war on the European allies, not realising that most of its navy was in European ports and was just therefore commandeered
It was quite
by the allies. You know, invasion of
Immediately
Libya, 200,000 Italians, 30,000 British. They don't know war's been declared. We do. Guess what happened? They all surrendered. I mean, come on,
strange that, isn't it?
yeah. Oh, the Italians were a fucking joke. What happened to the Roman Empire, for God's sake? They had their shit together then.
Clearly, that was their time and that was it.
Every country gets its time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You don't want to peak too early.
Like us.
Yeah.
No, the Romans peaked before us. The ancient Greeks peaked before us.
Well, we were the last ones to peak, really.
America's peaking right now,
Yeah.
isn't
And
it?
then, yeah, you've got that new one of with
Yeah, then
Then
everyone thinks
China.
it'll be China, but none of that shit will ever work.
the World Police. You know, it's one of them, isn't it? It is America, isn't it?
Yeah,
they're,
of
course
the
it
new,
is.
they're the new UK, aren't they? And
Yeah.
then who will it be after America?
And they're crumbling now.
They're on the decline, aren't they? I think
Yeah.
you could argue they're on the decline, although their military is probably still the best.
They're
in
still,
the world.
they're still number one, but
Yeah.
they are on
It'll
the
be
way
Russia
down.
after Russia will be the next ones. Do you watch?
Nah, Russia
No, they've had
finished.
they challenged for number 2 spot and didn't win, did they?
They've been challenging for number 2 spot for the past however many generations.
It's ironic because they're number 2 in Ukraine now, not just the world.
Yeah, China are overtaking them now.
Yeah.
And nothing now, Russia.
There's no coming back from that.
No,
Just the nukes.
we think China have got it,
You keep saying that.
right? But all for all we know, all their stuff's shit. They've never fought a war. They've never had any of their stuff tested. They're going to rely on mass human wave attacks, which you can't do anymore because modern weapons are too destructive. None of their airplanes have been tested in combat. We're told they're stealth capable and all this. We've no idea.
Seen Tropic Thunder?
Yeah.
They've gone full retard, haven't they? Simple as, and there's no coming back from it now.
Exactly, right. That's enough history in modern day politics. Pignati writes that between 1930 and 1940 there were numerous UFO sightings in Italy. These included an incident where an Italian fighter plane intercepted a UFO between Ravenna and Rome, as well as multiple UFO sightings over Mestre and Venice in August 1936. Mussolini's UFO files contain telegrams and reports related to the recovery of the UFO and subsequent investigations. They suggest that a secret commission established by Mussolini, including the fascist ministers Italo Balbo and Galeazzo Ciano, was responsible for studying the UFO phenomena in Italy. Guillermo Marconi was the chap running it.
See, I like to think that back in them days, UFOs weren't a thing really. It's not like it was only like the days of War of the Worlds and that, when that came out, things like that. That's when UFOs started to kind of...
Well, you had Roswell, didn't you? And before that you had the Foo Fighters and the war.
Yeah, but this is pre all of that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
This is
So
this
is all UFOs at that point weren't. I don't think they were very commonly talked about in any way, shape or form.
There's always been sightings of strange things in the sky throughout history. Alexander the Great had 2 UFO encounters, apparently, where one they helped him enter a city by firing a laser beam at the wall and making a breach.
And if you read the Bhagavad Gita,
the Bhagavad Gita, I think it is the Bhagavad Gita, you've got a story of flying craft in the sky, shooting at each other and potential nuclear detonations.
the old Hindu texts.
And then you got the pyramids, the inscriptions and whatnot.
Yeah,
The
there's definitely hieroglyphs.
Yeah.
Definite hieroglyphs that look like helicopters and fucking proper UFOs and that, ain't there?
15th century German woodcut, well, it's recorded as an aerial battle over a city. It was recorded in the woodcut and was featured in their newspaper. 2 hours over some small German town, you've got this aerial battle going on. Is it mass hallucination? You don't know. Could have all been eating ergot. That's a possibility. But still, people have always seen UFOs, but what I think the main point is, it's not a pop culture phenomenon at this point.
It's very... they wouldn't have been knowing what they were looking at. They wouldn't have been, something's crashed down there, let's see if it's a UFO. They would have more likely, like it said at the beginning, is that some kind of fucking secret weapon that the opposition's not got to us properly or something?
Yeah.
Let's go check it out. What the fuck is this?
It's 1933 and Europe's just starting to kick in. Germany's signed... Hitler's just come in, hasn't he? So the arms industry's starting to produce weapons again. The Brits are actually quite good at aviation at this point, and after the Second World War as well, but we would lead... the Americans have got something. I suppose Mussolini's reaction is normal, isn't it? But
they wouldn't have been thinking it was a UFO, would they? They'd have been thinking it was... Well, I say UFO, it was a UFO, technically, but they wouldn't have been thinking extraterrestrial. They'd have been thinking along the lines of, whose is it? Who's made this?
Yeah.
And then get there and think, what the fuck? Oh my dear, what? Who's... What? What is he, big giant... What?
Well, that's it. We get to the bodies, don't we? Recovered bodies. Journalist Christopher Sharp of Liberation Times did extensive research on the Italy crash and found out that alongside the crashed UFO, 2 human-like bodies were allegedly recovered at the site in Lombardy, Italy in 1933. The bodies described by Mr. Sharp sparked intrigue and speculation due to their unusual characteristics and alleged extraterrestrial origin. He writes, Wright Patterson Air Force Base, Ohio, 1959. Why have the Americans got it, do you think?
Well, we know, don't we, according to Elizondo and Grush.
They stole it after the war, basically.
Well, the Pope let them know.
Yeah.
Apparently.
The Pope tipped them off and then they stole it. We'll have that, thank you very much. What are you going to do, tell everyone we've ditched a UFO?
How'd you just come in and steal that shit though?
Because you've conquered Italy.
Yeah.
They're in charge.
Yeah.
You're removing anything you might deem dangerous to you, so you're looking for weapons, things like that. Oh, what's
They
that?
stumble across that. They're not going to leave it, are they?
No.
And these strange bodies. Two bodies allegedly lay on a table. They look like twins. They're dead and preserved with formaldehyde. The bodies are in bad shape. They look like victims of a bad car accident, but their heads remain intact. But their features trouble a French biologist invited to study the bodies. Two males, very tall, around 7 foot, long blonde hair, very high and spacious foreheads, clear blue eyes that look somewhat Asiatic, small noses, small mouths, small chins, thin lips, very clear pale skin, but no signs of facial hair.
So they're not greys then, are they? They're Nordics.
Nordics,
I
yeah.
was going to say, they sound like the Nordics.
Their hands, although slender, are human-like, their toes are small and their feet flat. The story gets weirder. Their skin appears perfectly white but shows no signs of keratin granules, which play an important role in providing natural moisturisation for the skin in addition to UV protection and water retention. Startlingly, the biologists discovered their lymphatic systems were dominant and practically replaced the blood system, providing a high degree of protection from any disease. They were not human, at least as we know it, and that's how the story goes.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Oh yeah, true, yeah.
It does sound very much like the Nordics, doesn't it?
Big if true.
We've got a lymphatic system.
Yeah.
But remember, at the moment we're being told not to consider the word extraterrestrial rather than non-human intelligence. There is a strong possibility that these aren't extraterrestrials.
Time travellers.
Time travellers, maybe.
Interdimensional.
Multidimensional. Parallel dimensions, we know they exist.
Well, we think.
We think we know they exist. We haven't figured out how to get to them, but we think there's a possibility that there's multiple dimensions. What if this is an interdimensional craft?
I don't think there's other dimensions.
Don't you?
No.
Have you done your research on the internet
No, I'm just...
and discovered something that scientists don't know?
Well, it's string theory, isn't it?
Yeah, string theory suggests that there's multiple universes.
Not everybody believes in string theory,
No.
might add.
To the point where, like, every decision you make can technically spawn another dimension,
Yeah.
another timeline.
Yeah, that's a bit far-fetched, isn't it?
So think there's infinite possibilities, infinite dimensions.
Think of Ace Rimmer from Red Dwarf.
I mean, yeah, I mean, Claire, like you say, it's not proved. It isn't proven.
Certainly not
It's
disproved.
theoretical, isn't it? It's
It's
theoretical.
highly theoretical.
But it's probably easier, possibly, than travelling millions and millions of light years in the...
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Unless you've got wormhole tech.
It's just some way of distorting space that we don't know about.
It's gravity. Bend gravity. That's every account that reckons this is how UFOs are. I'm sure Bob Lazar said it too. It's repulsing one type of gravity with another. That's what he reckoned. I'm sure it was him.
I'm sure he said that they create a bubble, like bend space, and then like the craft just
Bends
shunts
it
forward.
around them, kind of thing.
Yeah, so bends it in front of them, and then the craft sort of shunts in front of it. I think that's what he said. But either way, it's, you know, we're not sure what they are and how they got here, I guess.
Yeah. We do have sources for these accounts. This account, 2 accounts of these alleged recovered bodies within Wright-Patterson, which inform this story. The first is from William Brophy, whose father claimed to have seen the bodies while serving as a left American lieutenant colonel in the United States Air Force. See, I was culturally sensitive then.
Yeah.
Brophy claimed his father told him the story among those of other UAP encounters while serving in the Air Force. The second account is from UAP researcher Leonard Stringfield, who told the story of the French biologist in his 1982 book named UFO Crash Retrievals, and that's in the evidence, status report 3, catchy.
I've heard of that geezer.
Leonard Stringfield?
Yeah.
You sure you're not thinking of Peter Stringfellow, the strip club owner?
No.
No?
No.
Thank God for that. I know that image from my head.
No, I'm sure I've heard that name before. When you said it, I thought, sound familiar. And he's done UFO books and shit, so...
He used to work on his titles though, didn't he?
Yeah.
So, to quote him, US officials allegedly confirmed to the French biologist that the bodies were not human and were of extraterrestrial origin. After much hesitancy and many years, the biologist decided to tell his story, and his account was picked up by Stringfield. The bodies allegedly came from a UAP crash, according to Brophy's account, which occurred long before Roswell, 1933, Lombardy, Italy, where a mysterious craft had crashed. Now, overall, the accounts surrounding these bodies raise intriguing questions about the possibility of extraterrestrial life. Well, yeah.
I think they were just like some pasty Nordics, their sun's burned out, they're all dying, and they're like, go and find another planet with a bit of sun.
Some pasty Nordics.
Yeah, with no melanin and they can't tan up, can they? Because they haven't even got.
They may survive. They may have something else in their skin which we couldn't pick up because we don't know what it is that protects them.
But if they couldn't tan themselves, that kind of blows your theory out of the water, doesn't it?
Stick these bodies under tanning lights, damn it!
That's because they've lost their sun on their planet, and then
Well,
if they come to ours,
quick.
they haven't got the
I know, yeah.
equipment in their skin to tan, so it's pointless, isn't it?
Maybe it would build up.
Maybe it'll just shrivel them up.
They might shrivel them up, but they've got to take a chance.
Yeah, they might be like a
species.
Oh, we can't live without getting tanned.
Yeah, well, they might end up like fucking gingers in Spain when they get set on fire walking to the street.
That doesn't happen.
It does. Ginger people just incinerating anything over 25 degrees.
Don't look at me.
I'm looking at you.
I'm strawberry blonde.
Yeah.
What do you usually call it? Autumn sunset.
Awesome sunrise.
So this information of the retrieved unknown craft was somehow confided to Pope Pius XIII, or 12th, sorry, Pope Pius XII, by Mussolini himself, as they had good relations. Pope Pius XII, bit of a cock. If it's the same guy that was in during the war, non-committal on the Holocaust, even though he was aware it was happening, didn't do anything about that, didn't tell anyone. Yeah, not allegedly quite racist, according to things written by people closest to him at the time.
Doesn't surprise me.
I love how the popes give themselves names like Pius.
I know, yeah.
Clearly they're fucking not. So after Mussolini became an ally with Hitler and the Third Reich, the Pope became uneasy about the craft and leaked it to the US from the Vatican, playing both sides so he comes out on top.
Yeah.
Maybe, or he was genuinely concerned that he didn't want Hitler to get it. That's a possibility.
Well, that wouldn't have probably been good, would it?
Well, him being the Pope and the Pope having very, very strong connections with every thing in the world.
Everything Catholic.
If to be what's said is believed, then they're quite organised, aren't they? The Pope and his friends, and there's lots of information that they could get in any point. So they probably knew that the Yanks were coming, things like that. The war was going to end. They weren't going to win. Okay, let's make sure we save ourselves here. Yeah. I know what he's got hiding. Do you want it? Yeah, Sam. When you take it, just leave us alone. We're nice. We believe in you guys, don't we? We don't like Hitler and Mussolini.
The Vatican City had been established at that point, so it's like it's an independent state in that
its own,
scenario, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether this is during the war or before, in all fairness, because Hitler and Mussolini became pally just before in the preceding years between 1933 and 1939. So it might have been that soon. I can't remember what year the Italians and the Germans signed their pact on the top of my head.
It probably wasn't long after the Olympics, was it?
But they just met up and had a few beers.
Well, they're fascist governments. They want to be allies. I mean, Spain, Germany, and Italy had a non-aggression pact because they're all the only fascist states in Europe, and they wanted to stick together. Although obviously Spain never got involved in World War II.
How did they get away with that?
Just because he was like, I'm not going to do anything, but I'm not going to hinder or help any of you in any way, pretty much. Apart from providing what assistance international law requires me to.
He had assistance in the Civil War, didn't he?
Yeah, the Germans sent...
They bombed Guernica, didn't they?
Yeah, the Germans sent... I forget what the squadron was called. They sent a squadron of their new Luftwaffe planes over... The Condor Legion, so they called it. They sent a squadron of their planes over to assist Franco, and they bombed a city, which is the first time anyone had ever done that. And obviously everyone got shit scared about the prospect of your cities being bombed.
So they all just knelt down and went, Yeah, we'll do whatever you want.
No, there was a
No,
bloody
no.
civil war, mate.
Is that what caused it, or
No, they were fighting, but
Fighting for the fascists.
Hitler was
It
joining the fascists against the communists.
Yeah.
not the most well-known
No, it
part
isn't.
of that wartime?
Incredibly bloody
era.
war, though. I mean,
Yeah.
you had international brigades being
Yeah.
formed, which is the same as Ukraine. People who are against either communists themselves or just really anti-fascist. George Orwell went to fight in the Spanish Civil War.
You can't imagine the Spanish
parents.
being like that, can you? Really? When you go on holiday to Spain,
Well, it was
can
only,
you imagine them being like Civil War?
It was only
Nazis?
until 1975 they were a fascist state. When Franco died, it became a democracy again.
And that's when holidays in Spain
Yeah.
became a thing.
Yeah, they opened the country.
But what
opened
they
the country
did
up.
is they made a pact called the Great Forgetting or something like that.
Basically, we'll erase this from history.
Yeah, they
No
were.
one will ever talk about
Yeah.
it. We'll forget that it ever
Not mention
happened.
the war.
We're a nice little country.
The
Come
war
and have a
and the
look at our
following
beaches.
30 years of fascist brutality, like hundreds of thousands of people died, went missing, just because of their beliefs, their political beliefs. And it's only now that they're starting to dig up all the old graves, all the bodies are
Like mass graves
Yeah.
with the woods kind of
Yeah.
thing.
And they're just starting to sort of reopen old wounds, I guess.
But so they'd all agreed
Yeah.
after so Franco dies in 75 and they get democracy back and everyone just agrees like, hey, let's just not talk about that.
Yeah.
You all stay in the same positions as government ministers, obviously.
No, you had
If you're
elections,
elected,
yeah.
but they can still stand.
Yeah,
And most of them probably got back in.
yeah, and there was like I was watching a documentary on it. This one woman said she was living opposite the guy that murdered her husband, but because they agreed to forget about everything, she had to live opposite him for 30 years. I mean, I don't know why she didn't move, but because it's her house and she lived there all her life, and she knows his murderer's living opposite, but you couldn't do anything about it.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yep.
So either way, the Pope tells the Americans.
Yeah.
Pope says to the Americans, look, something came down. You may want. He's telling you. Because he doesn't want Hitler to have it, I assume. You must know. I mean, he's the Pope, so he's got a foot in every camp, hasn't he? So he must know the German war machine is a lot better than the Italian one.
That was kind of the point I was trying to get to in a long way around it. But yeah, that was a good way of putting it.
Yeah,
Simplified it. Cheers.
that's what I do.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, he's got his fingers in a lot of pies, and he knows what's going on.
Every
He
country,
was like, I think I'll back the winners.
every country where there's Catholics, the Pope's got a foothold, hasn't he?
Yeah. America's quite a big Catholic country, isn't it? But it certainly wasn't.
Even when JFK was elected, right, there was a lot of people really feared that because he was a Catholic, the Pope technically is in charge of him.
Right.
So they're like, are we going to have a president who's under the authority of the Pope? It's a big thing at the time. That's how much sway the Pope has. If you're Catholic, he's your boss.
Yeah. Doesn't matter whether you're the president, is it? If he's your boss, that's it.
Well, yeah, because he's God's right-hand man. He's God's representative on earth, isn't he? So you don't get more higher authority than that if you're a Catholic.
And they know all the dirty secrets
And they probably know all the dirty
because of
secrets.
confession.
Through confession, yeah.
Yeah. Just think how much power they hold.
I bet
They know the
don't
dirty
actually
secrets.
I bet they don't do confession, do they?
Because they do the Catholics.
Yeah. It's all about sin, Catholicism.
Yeah. So all the priests, that's why they're so powerful, because they know all the secrets of all the people in the town.
That's why they can get away with raping little boys all the time.
A lot of child molestation going on in the Vatican. Yeah. Or in the Catholic Church, I say. Probably the Vatican too. I don't know.
I'm not even going to say allegedly, because
I don't think it's worth saying
You know it
allegedly for that one.
happens.
We'll say it as a legal requirement, allegedly, but at the same time, we all fucking know what's going on.
Oh, yeah, we do. There's
it's been reported many
Yeah.
times.
Boston Globe did a
They did.
thing about it, didn't they?
If to say it's systematic, or well entrenched in the entire thing, we'll say allegedly.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the Italian UFO crisis. Louis Elizondo, a former government official involved in UFO investigations, mentioned seeing documents from Mussolini's office that were, quote, compelling, and suggested that pieces of an Italian craft were transported to the US after World War II. It speculated the craft in question was not a typical UAP, with advanced technology, but rather a vehicle powered by jet engines and rockets, resembling the flying wing designs of the Horton brothers. I'll explain that in a second. The purpose of this technology transfer to the Axis powers is unclear, but likely for military advantage. The Horton brothers were two young Luftwaffe officers who were also quite visionary aircraft designers. Mm-hmm. They created the world's first flying wing in both bomber and fighter, what they call it, types.
Okay.
The flying wing bomber was projected to reach America. If the Germans had got an atomic weapon, and they did lead the world in atomic research in the 30s, there's every chance that one of these could have delivered that to New York and made it home again. The fighter version of these wings would, because they were made of wood and had a very low radar signature, would have defeated Britain's own home chain radar system, which means we'd have lost the Battle of Britain. They made these things, and there is one example, it's in the Smithsonian,
Obviously.
funnily enough.
So
Yeah, they came up with this idea of a flying wing.
yeah, it doesn't sound very alien, that, does it?
No, but they weren't flying that at that time.
Oh right.
If it's in the 30s, no. This thing was developed like 39 to 40. So this is...
Nearly 10 years later.
Well, it could have been an early prototype.
They were very young when the war was on. I don't
That's
think they'd have been
explained.
when the war started. I don't
No,
think
it's
they were...
similar to the. It might not have been them.
And
No.
Someone else.
that wouldn't explain the two Nordic-like pilots, would it?
No, but that could be bollocks, couldn't it?
It could be
Could
two
be,
really
yeah.
tall Germans.
Well, they got the blonde hair.
Elizondo's saying it's compelling that it was a UAP,
Yeah.
but some people obviously speculating that it wasn't. It was just a vehicle powered by jet engines and rockets. It was like a prototype thing.
But then is that people
There's a quote
being
there from Elizondo.
typically sceptical
That's not so.
non-believers kind of going, no, it was just a bloody flying wing, don't be silly.
Oh.
That's it.
Now, Raymond Szymanski, a retired US Air Force engineer, claimed that Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is a warehouse of extraterrestrial life and crashed flying saucers. I want to point out that is a common theme in the conspiracy theory. Area 51's a bluff. Yeah, they test shit out there, but nothing extraterrestrial. Wright-Patterson is where they keep everything.
Keeps our eyes averted to
That's
something
it.
already, doesn't it?
We're looking over there when we should be looking over here.
What about
Yeah.
Bob Lazar? then?
Mirrors.
Smoke and mirrors, Claire, exactly. Smoke and mirrors.
What about Bob Lazar?
Bob Lazar didn't just work at Air 51, he went to Groom Lake, which is apparently where they do some back
right.
engineering. There's two parts to Air 51,
Yeah.
there's the base and there's Groom Lake. He mentioned the presence of state-of-the-art climate control facilities and underground cryogenic chambers within Hangar 18. Pitch it in a song with Hangar 18, it's awesome. Also known as the Blue Room.
So did Megadeth.
Did they? Oh, of course he did, yeah. Yeah, but he's a dick. Dave Mustaine's a dick. Where alien debris, technology, weapons, bodies, and captured aliens are allegedly stored. So, didn't the room in Independence Day,
Yeah.
like, preservate them cubes come up and there's suspended aliens in them?
I don't think it would be that fancy.
Do you think that, no, I think they have to be hidden. You got to bring them from the floor for dramatic effect, don't you? Because and also you don't want the janitor walking in. Top secret clearance janitor, but you can't see that. That's above top secret, so you retract them down. He does his hoovering around. You know, goes off. He doesn't know.
I suppose they've got to have a janitor, haven't they?
You got to. Got to have someone who does his hoovering.
Wiping up all the green slime, like, I wonder what keeps causing this.
That's a
Bloody hard to get off floor. Don't
This-
come out carpet well.
This flash carpet stain remover does nothing with this green slime.
I've got to get Mr. Muscle out, I tell you.
As he's probably Mexican.
Yeah, it's not going to be you from
He's
Yorkshire,
not
is
from
he?
Yorkshire, is he?
I'm not going to go with a Mexican accent because I'll just offend people.
Yeah, we'd only banned in Mexico.
No. I don't want to do a Richard Hammond.
No. So these claims are supported by testimonies from individuals like Clyde Wheeler and a lady from Cincinnati who claimed to have witnessed saucer-shaped craft and handled paperwork related to the autopsy of small alien bodies. Or that goes again. Well, this is Wright-Patterson. They reckon they got everything, don't they? The Wright-Patterson Air Force Base was the location for various government UFO projects, including Project Sign, Project Grudge, and Project Blue Book. and Senator Barry Goldwater once requested access to a secret UFO room at the base, was denied by General Curtis Emerson LeMay, who reacted angrily. So that was, well, if LeMay's in charge, then you're going into the late 40s, mid 50s.
Well,
General Curtis LeMay was in charge of the US Bomber Force in the Second World War.
Well, there's that episode of Project Blue Book, yeah, which is all based upon the true findings in the diaries and such of what's his face, isn't it? Yeah, it's based upon truth.
Alan Hynek.
Alan Hynek's
Yeah,
truth.
but remember, a lot of embellishment for TV.
Yes, but there is the episode on that where they are looking at a mountain that opens up as a secret hangar with
Probably embellishment for TV, that one.
potentially, but what my point is that truth in itself, that is the kind of thing we've got. There is a mountain
I see
somewhere
where you're coming from.
that is that's what the secret hangar is.
The Germans had a mountain-looking airfield and airstrip and Nazi megastructures. We watched that, Mike. I'm sure you've seen it, Claire.
Yeah.
Well, they lift the planes up to the top of the mountain, they've hollowed it out and fire a plane off the top. But in this scenario, you don't need a runway.
No.
You just fly the thing at the side of the mountain.
Exactly. But you look at our airfields, yeah? If you're above in an airplane, you can't see any of our aircraft hangars because they're all covered in
Grass.
and they look like little you know what I mean? They don't look like hangars. So that's our little very simple fucking hangars. So if you've got the money, time, space, secret location, ability to just do what the fuck you want to build what you want, no one's going to see it.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that there's the possibility that there is like a mountain, or what we think is a mountain, that is just a big fucking hangar.
You know, in the first Gulf War, the Iraqis just had this long strip of concrete out in the desert, and everyone was like, "Why the fuck's there a runway in the middle of nowhere? What are they doing that for?" All their hangars were underground, so the planes, the doors would open, and they just taxi out.
Makes sense.
It was crazy. Everyone was like, "Where the fuck's all their hangars?" Camouflage is great.
Well, however they've done it, do they contain alien bodies and alien crafts?
Are we
the
down
question, isn't it?
for an alien crash in 1933 Italy? Let's break this down.
I'd love there to be something visual, some kind of visual evidence. There must have been photos taken.
But we'll never see that.
No,
That's my point. Without any of that,
I have seen another article where there's photos of the documents. It's been apparently signed by Mussolini.
okay, easily doctored nowadays.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know if Luis Elizondo released that or somebody else.
Could be him because he's the main one on this, isn't he?
Easy enough to create.
You got
shit like that.
basically it's going on his word, isn't it? 'Cause he's saying he's seen documents that say that Mussolini has instructed these people to look at this UFO in this program, and he's seen them documents. He says they're kosher.
Well, all this Dave Grush thing and this new releasing of all this very, very fucking world-changing. It literally is world-changing.
I just can't
isn't it?
believe
Evidence
how
and
the
real-
mainstream media have bungled this.
Yeah.
It hardly reported it.
Yeah.
The BBC News app, because I've been checking, has been giving live coverage. But it's not exactly
But it's not
up
being
there as main
advertised.
news,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah, same with the Independent, that they did show the
I think it's
hearing
just-
in full, but
Tokenistic.
Yeah.
why isn't it? Yeah, I mean,
But my point
it's
is,
not. It's not number one on the news item, is it?
no.
For some
But
reason.
if they're starting to, this is coming out now, so eventually, hopefully, they will be like, yeah, all right, that 1 in 33, yeah, it was real. Here's the fucking photos. Here's the Oh, Roswell, yeah. Here's the videos. Here's the fucking. You would hope that they will fess up and say, yeah, all right, then.
Maybe that's what the mainstream media are waiting for, the concrete evidence.
Well, that is more than likely. That's probably correct, to be fair.
The mainstream media loves reporting on this shit. Not on this shit. Loves reporting on UAPs, UFOs, alien abductions, when they can make fun of it.
Yeah.
Well, no, they can't make fun of it.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
Can they?
No.
Yeah.
Because this is very potentially, I'm going to go 90% probably true, is my gut feeling. I think
Yeah,
I don't see why
would
Grush has got under oath and said all this. We've got the bodies, we've got the craft.
Why would he lie?
What's
Doesn't make any sense.
at this point? Unless he's the greatest psyops plant in the world. But then you got other people coming out with him. You got senators saying we want to see this stuff. Yeah, I think they're down to a 60-day amnesty now.
Are they?
We'll give you 60 days. That's what they put forward.
Before we
Show us what you've got, or we'll take it from you. Do it willingly, and you'll be allowed to keep it and keep researching it.
Well, the thing is, it might be in the hands of private companies.
That's what I mean. That's what they're saying to companies like Boeing, Lockheed Martin, or various other DoD. What's the word? Feeder companies, private research labs.
Any aviation industry, any of the aviation companies, definitely.
If they've got if you've got exotic materials or anything like that, or any bodies or complete craft, show them us, and we won't take it from you. Basically,
Well, surely they should be looking a bit closer to home first before all these private, things. What about the FBI and all that? Surely they've got a branch.
CIA.
CIA. But it all
Mulder and Scully, whatever.
Well, there's a lot of David Grush worked for what was basically.
The X-Files.
But he knows where they
X-Files.
are, and he's told them now, in private, admittedly. Not been able to disclose that.
I mean, there's meant to be a UFO so massive they had to build a building around it because they couldn't move it.
Apparently so.
What's that? What is it? Where is it? I want to know where it is.
That's it, we want to know, don't we?
What was this?
Apparently, this UFO that crashed was so big, right, that we couldn't move it, so we just built something around it to cover it over.
So everybody just thinks it's a building of some sort.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And this journalist knows exactly where it is, but he can't say for security purposes.
Of course he can't.
I think Grush has.
That's the problem, isn't it? Yeah, Grush told him. But this is the problem, isn't it? What are they saying? What's he saying behind closed doors at the skiffs or whatever they're called?
Yeah.
Will we ever know, or will all these hearings just
Peter out.
Yeah.
Back to
They're not going to meow, definitely.
1933. Italian UFO crash. Yes.
Peter, get it?
Claire.
It's possible.
I think it's happened.
You believe him?
Yeah.
I don't see why Elizondo's there with Grush. I mean, he's at these things too. He's at the congressional, isn't he?
I think so. Not giving testimonies, but he's worked for Arrow, hasn't he? And he's worked trying to uncover this within the Pentagon. So he knows his shit.
I think they've been visiting us for a long time,
I think so, it's possible.
What if it's a truth?
This one's just fucking crashed, and landed on somewhere where, everyone was just a bit ditzy and didn't know what the fuck was going on for a minute,
It's a possibility. Well, who is going to know what's going on? I like it. I think it's coming. And they've got to fess up, haven't they?
I'm with you. I'm about 80-90% on this that I think it happened. I'd like to see some kind of visual evidence of this.
That's the problem, isn't it?
Hard evidence, even better. We've still got the bodies cryogenically frozen or whatever, or embalmed. Or,
Take us to that Independence Day fucking cryogenic tube chamber.
Yeah.
Take us there, show us it. It does explain where all that Pentagon money's going, though, doesn't it? How much of a...
The freezing bill,
Yeah, the electricity bill.
Not just that, you think as well, the Pentagon themselves have been releasing little snippets, like the other month when they said
videos.
about that there's a real possibility there's a mothership just outside our solar system. Little things like that, it's quite a fucking big thing to drip feed, isn't it, really? When you think about it realistically.
I think that was just one person speculating.
It was released by the Pentagon?
Yeah, speculation.
Well, who knows?
Not saying there was a mothership.
No, they didn't say there is a mothership.
They said there could be.
It's highly likely.
No, they didn't say it's likely, they said it could be.
They said highly likely.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I remember the word.
Can I just point out that we're talking about this it's nothing? There's potentially a fucking alien mothership hovering around the edge of the solar
that's what I'm
system.
trying to. Yeah, but if you go with my interpretation, then it's not so likely. But if Pete's, it's very likely.
Yeah, but still, if we meet in the middle and say it's 60-40, fucking hell.
But just the fact that the Pentagon, the Pentagon are releasing anything like that,
Yeah,
it's quite big, isn't it?
It is. There's definitely been a sea change, hasn't there? There's been a shift.
Yeah.
And I think it's for things like, because they know it's coming, that there's
Maybe.
your Grish and things like, people like that, they know that's coming, so that, right, okay, let's start drip feeding little bits.
A 30D crash is
Well, they've let
interesting.
Grush speak, remember? He's not a whistleblower. He's been told what he can and can't say.
Yeah.
So they are releasing it. But there must be, like any organisation or structure, there's going to be some people that want it released, and I guess some people who don't. And there's an
Hence why
internal
it's
sort of
being drip
struggle.
fed like it
Yeah.
is, maybe.
Every little step leads to our eventual enlightenment. If this leads to a little bit of a step, I'm fine with it.
I just hope it's not all just fucking bollocks.
I just think
Yeah.
it's more than likely that whether they be
Can't be
aliens or interdimensional travellers, there's a non-human intelligence visiting us. I think we can establish that.
Well, we can't at the moment, that's a problem.
Alright, yeah, I know what you're saying. We can't establish...
Scientifically, you cannot say that.
But then all the sightings over the
I know,
years,
yeah.
but then it's just...
So, until we get that evidence,
So it-
until we see them bodies on that ship,
It's just a belief.
yeah.
And yeah,
You got to believe Grush, or you don't.
and everyone else
Choose
is...
to believe.
And everyone else who's seen these things
Yeah,
over the years,
yeah.
the hundreds of thousands, millions of people.
Yeah. Only takes one to be true, doesn't it?
And Blue Book, what was it, 15% of stuff they couldn't explain? And that's just what they looked at. Then you got pilots chasing UFOs around in 2017. You've got all these alleged crashes, you've got all these alleged signs. It's just, it's circumstantial evidence because there's nothing hard. But there comes a point where if you take away like 75% of those, or even 85%,
Well, you can take away 99.99%.
yeah,
Takes a
as
point
long as one of them's
yeah.
right, and if this is what they're saying is right, then fucking hell, that's massive.
It is, isn't it?
I mean, Kelly Hopkinsville might be true.
No, I don't know about that.
Which one's that?
You weren't here for that one.
We'll redux that one day.
I'd rather not.
We should.
Case closed, it was just
That
ours.
case closed, mate.
Drunk hillbillies.
Goblins fucking having a Mexican standoff with a bunch of hillbillies.
Is this the one with the shed? They're camping out in a. They live in a little.
It's a farmhouse.
But in the middle, like the woodlands or something.
Yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere.
And
Yeah.
in the middle of the night, they're getting like
Attacked by
yeah.
goblin aliens.
and they end up shooting
Yeah,
one of
that's
them.
the one.
That's in Project
It
Blue
was,
Book.
yeah.
Yeah, it was investigated by Blue Book, and nothing was ever found to suggest it was giant owls.
Silvery owls it was.
It was not. It was goblin aliens. Redux episode coming soon. Right. Okay. Italian UFO. It's all potentially absolutely true. Though it might be absolute bollocks because Grush is the greatest psyop in the world.
Time will tell.
Yep.
Time will tell. Right. Thank you very much for listening. I've been Ben. Don't drink the Flavour Aid. Don't join a cult.
I've been Mike, thanks for listening. Peace out, may the force be with you.
I've been Claire. Keep an open mind, but not so open that it spills out your ears.
I've been Pete. I still am Pete. And yeah, have a nice week. Bye.
Well done. You know exactly who you are. That's fantastic.